Good morning, this is Keith All, and in today's tutorial I'm going to teach you how to make a long shadow effect using layers in Photoshop. So on the screen is what we're going to be building together today. So basically I have a logo, and you could choose any logo that you want, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer that is the shadow itself, and then we're going to add a drop shadow to this, and this is all going to be done using layers. So let's go over here. I already got a document open. You could change the colors as you see fit on your end, what your background color of the canvas is, and to the color of the logo and the shadow. I'm going to drag in my logo. I'm going to click on the move tool, and I'm going to just drag that up here to my document and right here and drop it right there. I'm going to press Control T on a PC to transform it so I could resize it. I'm using the Shift and Alt key right now to click and drag this. Okay, I'm going to press Enter to accept that. Okay, now my next step is to basically let's change the color of this icon, and I'm just going to mock up what I had before. So I'm going to click on the foreground color, opens up the color picker, and I'm going to select this color right here. Click OK. I'm going to go over to the new document. I'm going to control click on this layer thumbnail, and what that's going to do is it's going to make a selection of this icon. So I'm going to control click. As you can see, makes a selection. Now what I'm going to do to fill this, just the icon with the color of the foreground color, I'm going to press Alt and backspace on a PC. Now I'm going to click Control D to deselect that selection. Now I'm going to create a new layer. We want to drag that layer below the icon layer. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this layer with black because our shadow here is black. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to change the foreground color. Click OK. I got this selected, so I'm going to use Alt and backspace to fill it with black. Now I'm going to press Control T to select that entire layer, and I'm going to, which is the transform. Now I'm going to Shift Alt and then click and drag to resize this. Now I'm going to use, now I'm going to rotate this layer. I'm going to drag this out beyond the borders of the canvas. I'm going to resize it so it fits the edges of the icon itself. Now I'm going to press Enter to apply these changes for the transform. And now basically while this is selected, this layer is selected, the shadow layer is selected, I'm going to use the eraser tool, and basically I'm going to erase the portion of the shadow. So I'm going to use the square bracket to increase the size of my brush, and I'm just going to paint over this area. And that's basically how you could create a long shadow. Even if this was text, you could do it the same way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a drop shadow on this icon layer. So I'm going to select the icon layer, double click on it to open up the layer style dialog box, and I'm going to click on drop shadow. And since it already pulled up the last settings that I had, I'm going to leave it as is up here, but you could play around with it on your end to create the effect that you want. So I'm going to select OK. And that is basically how you could create a long shadow effect using layers in Photoshop. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and click on that bell notification so you always get updated when I create a new video. And then please like, share, and comment. It helps out me, helps out the community. And if you add questions or ideas for new tutorials, it's going to help everyone else out. So I appreciate your support for this channel. Hopefully you got some new skill sets for yourself today as a graphic designer using Photoshop. Again, thank you for stopping by. You have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.